Power 95. Ladies Room. Come see you compliments. Renwick Thompson and Company Limited. Agents for Western Union.
2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6.
Education multiplies their chances and places the world of opportunity in their hands. No matter where they are in the world, make sure they're prepared for their journey back to school with Western Union. School fees, books, room and board, whatever the reason. Knowledge, independence, opportunity. Western Union, moving money for better.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the ladies' room for today, Monday, March 6th. Fresh on the heels of an amazing weekend and ready to make use of this week, another week in March, first Monday. Just want to say happy birthday to all those who are celebrating today. Happy solar return. May this one be good for you and to you. And of course, if you celebrated on the weekend, same applies. So happy birthday and shout out to all the Pisces in the building. I didn't find I have enough thing. Hold on. Hold on. Because I need to be moisturized for this hour. Because some of y'all will probably like me more today or like me less, but it doesn't really matter. Everybody has an opinion and I'm entitled to mine. So, I'm not even wasting time today. I ain't even shouting y'all out today. I'm just getting right into it because I want to get y'all feedback. So, good morning, everybody in the room. Come on in and share. I appreciate if you will share. If you have not already, please do so. I was trying to not talk about it, but there's a lot of catching up to do. Yeah, sure you guys heard about that accident this morning on the Morris Bishop Highway that the person has since been identified, and Mr. Asher McIntyre, he was struck by a vehicle this morning. So just want to extend condolences to his family. Of course, I'm sure we're all familiar with his dad. He's been a guest on our program, ASP Superintendent Sylvan McIntyre. I cannot begin to imagine what this family is going through at this point in time. So guys, please remember them and lift them up in prayers. It's not the type of news any parent or any family want to hear. You know, it's still hard if you know somebody's like ill and you're sort of prepared, but you're not prepared. Doctor says there's nothing more we can do for this person, but it's different when somebody's in the best of health and going about their daily lives. And based on the news report, he was on his regular morning jog when he was struck by a vehicle. So I just want to extend condolences to the family. And not only that, I swear on this weekend I saw about 3 or 4 pictures, videos of accident that occurred on the weekend, and I'm a driver. And yeah, sometimes you're tempted to mash a little gas, but when you look at the road, it's like an inch. Plus, there's a whole lot of corners. So sometimes you have to check yourself, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's not due to your fault, but you often ask, like, what are people doing on the road that resulting in these crazy accidents? And I mean, time and time again, you keep saying, "Oh, be careful on the road." Listen, on my way from the show Sunday morning, a white Escudo overtook me on that corner. Y'all know that corner after you pass. Okay, let me see if I can. What do you call that corner? Like that after the big tire in Woodlands, right? Is that going up on the cliff? There's a funny corner with two houses at the bottom. And you know you kind of have to hug the corner because of how the road is. A guy overtook me on that corner. So at that point in time, I had to say about 3 Hail Marys because I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He was on my heels from just after Creative. He was on my heel, and I couldn't even slow down because he was just on my back. So I'm driving and I'm like, if you can pass, because that's how I drive. If I'm driving at a moderate speed and you want to overtake me, by all means overtake, but I'm not about to slow down or do anything. I'm driving moderately, do care and attention. If there's room for you to pass and you can pass, by all means, go. Not about to stop you. So he's been on my tail from that spot. And I saw this guy come around the corner. I was like, I swear he was going to end up on the people's houses at the bottom. And I'm like, what is it goes through people's mind when they're driving? What is it so important? It's not like he had on his hazard lights, like he's heading to the hospital, there's an emergency. Why are you all doing all these crazy-ish? Like, what do you get from that? The adrenaline, your lives are so boring that you need excitement and endangering your lives and endangering the lives of other people on the road. Like, some of y'all do the most. And it's not even necessary. What is that for? What is all this excitement on the road? What is that really for? What do you get out of that? Oh, you best driver? You want to be like, what's his name? Lewis Hamilton? You want to go do speed racing? Then go to the Pearls strip and take off, if you will. But some of y'all just do the most. It's like y'all either catch some kind of glad or you're excited or you're gas happy. What is it that encourages this reckless driving? What is that for? Like, really, what is that for? What is all the recklessness about? Anyways, I have more important things to talk about. It's important, but I'm not about to stress myself over y'all. But the bad thing is when y'all do that, if you only endangered yourself, that is okay. But the thing is, you put other people's lives at risk. Innocent people. If you want to do your foolishness and something alone would happen to you, that is a different story. But you're putting other people's lives at risk. Just for your stupidity. I don't get it. I honestly don't. Anywho's. So we're taking a break from the man and woman thing. Yeah, I have a lot. But I wanted to go a different direction this morning based on what transpired on the weekend and in the build-up. Now, I'm not too sure how many of you are familiar with Mr. Daps and his style of entertainment and performing. But for those who know his music, it's raunchy, it's sexual, it's provocative. And everywhere he performs, it's almost like, people expect that he would be dancing with a woman or women or whatever the case might be. Will go up on stage, do the little thing, and they get off. Now, it seems as though based on that, you know what I have a problem with? The convenient moral compasses that kicks in. That's one. Two, When it's other people, it's okay. Because I've seen people under different posts with him on other islands, and it's not a problem. And now we bring it back to even here. And I'm not going to call out any artist name. We know who they are. We have artists here who travel, perform in other countries. And what that young lady did on the stage with Daps compared to what I see some of these artists doing is not much different. But how come I don't hear y'all condemning these same artists for degrading women, for climbing on women's back, for lifting up women, how come the outrage isn't there? I just don't get the double standard. Is it if you are of this, you take on the role of moral police, aren't you supposed to police across the board? What is the selective outrage about? I don't get it. At the end of the day, I've gotten to a stage in my life where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do what makes me happy, and I'm going to let people do what makes them happy. I am not going to stress about what another man or woman choose to do, because at the end of the day, I can only answer for myself. Oh, y'all aren't good role models. First of all, I've never had a plaque. I've never made a video, never made a sign, poster, nothing saying that I wish to be anybody's role model. I'm catching my nene to be my own role model, so I don't want that responsibility. You as a parent, on the other hand, that is your responsibility to your child or children. You're supposed to be their first role model. You're supposed to set good examples for them so that they can emulate and follow you. Not me, not nobody else. Dexter Daps, Dexter Foot, Dexter Head. That is not their responsibility. The man is an entertainer. He's an artist. He gets paid to do what he does. He does it. That's his style. It's either you're for it or against it. We don't have to like everything. We don't have to accept everything. There are some things I see, I don't like it, and I keep it pushing. Who am I to tell a man or woman how to live? Because I sure as hell don't want any stranger coming to me and telling me how to live and what to do. It's like the things that people can't do to us, we want to do to other people. Now, who can come to you and say, listen, I don't like how you live, and I want you to change your ways? Would you seriously stand there and accept that with a smile on your face and say thank you? Or you will feel away? But what gives us the right to dictate to other people? Somebody came in my inbox. If y'all check my Facebook page, somebody came on my inbox, and he said, I don't want you to think I'm coming at you wrong. It's just young women need to have standards. And I totally agree. We all have to set standards for ourselves. Nobody can set standards for us. People have different standards that they operate and live with, and if it works for them, it works for them. I can tell a man he needs to have standards. I can tell a woman she needs to have standards. I don't know people's lives, how they grew up, what they're doing. I don't know. But yes, it's something we all can agree with. You know, you have to set standards for your life. You're supposed to have some sort of, because I, for one, I was just kicking and making fun about it, but there's no way. When I got, I hardly even danced, much less to go on stage with anybody. But that's me. That's my personal choice. Other people wouldn't do the same thing. We are not cut from the same cloth. What I would do, Jane wouldn't do it. What Jane would do, I wouldn't do it. Or we maybe might. I don't know. So this person says, I don't want you to think I'm coming at you wrong. And that is to do with the video that I posted, and a number of other people posted, with the young lady who went on stage and was performing with Mr. Daps. Person says it's just young women need to have standards. You never know who looking at them want to be your wife. That might be a turnoff, just my point of view. In 2023, I've never read a load of bull and something so hilarious. Y'all are funny because all bread have their cheese. And you might feel that way, but another person, it does not. People are attracted to different things. So we seem to think that. So I asked the person, I'm like, listen, that is your guide for selecting a wife. So you rather have a wife who is fully clothed, looks well in public, speaky spokey, carries herself, in a certain way. But behind closed door, she treats you like rubbish. Her attitude stinks. Than somebody who's outgoing, fun, bubbling, and could have the most loving personality and could love the hell out of you and take care of you, cook, clean, take care of you. So it's like you have a certain standard for wife, but then y'all get married, and then the same people that you have a problem with that you can't wife, these are the people you want to hook up with on the side. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. So it seems as though value is only for women. Aren't men supposed to have the same value themselves? Ask yourself as a man. The qualities that I'm looking for in a woman, do I possess them myself? Am I a good man? Am I a respectable man? Do I treat my woman with respect? Am I abuser? And some of them you see you hearing their name calling in all kind of beating woman all of, but all of a sudden they have mouth to talk about who is wife material and who is not. Are you a husband material? There's a lot of you who aren't husband material that woman wouldn't accept you for husband either. Are you husband material? As much as we're talking about who is and who isn't wife material. Ask yourself the question, am I husband material? So it goes across the board. Why do we think we could be judge, jury, executioner, sit high and look down low on people? Because, so a young lady goes on stage, dance for 2 seconds with Dexter Daps, and all of a sudden her files are out there. It's like we don't know nothing about the person. You don't know what job she does. You don't know how she lives. But that one incident makes you hire a better because you don't do it. But there are other things you're probably doing that aren't quite nice. It's just that yours is not in the public domain. Because there's a lot of things people do behind closed doors. So some of you out there having the most to say about other people, sometimes the only difference is mine is public and the other person might be public and yours ain't. But does that make you better than the person that you're talking about? We all do ish. Everybody. There's something that you might have done that you're not proud of, but it seems as though lately we have squeaky clean morality police already sitting at the right hand of the Lord, touched his hem, drank the holy water, and they're already secure in the heavenly position. The rest of us sinners, we fighting up. We ain't sure where we're going yet. Who said that every woman wants to be a wife? It's like the presumption that, hey, hello, we're no longer in the 15th and 10th century. Women now, compared to women then who didn't have a job, had no career, no education, basically depending on some man to bring 2 goats for their father, to take them out of their father's house. Couldn't even talk about going to school because you're, as a child, taught that you are going to be a housewife to cook, clean, and bear children. We ain't doing that no more. We have women in executive positions, managers, owners of businesses. Back then, women didn't have a choice because you depended on a man to take care of you. You needed a husband so you could start your own family and have some sort of life. Who says that every woman wants to walk down the aisle and have big wedding? There are women who've said point blank, period, they're not interested in any form, shape of marriage. There are women who say, you know what, I've been living good and checking up for years and it's working for me, I don't have a problem. There are others who are married and they're happy with it. So there's different strokes for different folks. Y'all come in the room every day. How much scenarios we have with married people? Like, y'all want to go back and check from since we started doing this on a more, most relationship. How many scenarios we have on a weekly basis with married people? Tell me which one is perfect. So why is the measuring stick that, you have to behave a certain way because you won't get a man to marry to you? Who said to you that every woman wants to be married? Y'all realize women are sitting waiting on y'all no more. There's some women who are doing way better than a lot of you. In every way that counts. So somebody putting on and going and wind up on Dexter Daps, I don't understand how does that make them not wifey material. So Miss have to walk around with she skirt long, she short button up into her throat, cover she head and she face, and that makes her wife material. Like 2023, yeah. So I guess you're gonna have a lot of unmarried people if that's how we see it. The end all be all to being a woman is getting married. That's what it is. I mean, there are women who aspire, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has their own whatever makes them happy. But who says that is every woman's desire? Why? Because we won't do something or don't do something, we find a need to continuously, and it's the double standards, because you are talking about standards and morality, but there's a way to do it, even if you don't agree what somebody does. Why does that make it okay to drag the person and say what you don't know about them? So on one hand, you're condemning something, but on the other hand, you doing the same. You don't like what the person is doing, but you have to degrade the person. So that makes you better, like, how? Someone says, 1, I wouldn't go up on stage to perform. 2, I don't judge anyone who chooses to. 3, not because I don't do that publicly mean I ain't doing so-called immoral things behind closed doors. 4, if you don't want her for a wife, leave her be. Same good wife might be haunting you under your nose. Leave people be. Juve morning. Lord, don't give me. What time now? Is the convenience of it all that makes me like really laugh. The only difference is because if you see certain people at events, the only difference is they're not up on the stage. But you see people in events having the time of their life, whining on the ground, splitting. They're having their time. Juve morning, naked, next to naked, people having a time, man and woman, man. And okay, what do you hear? Is we time, is we culture. So how come there is not this loud outrage? It's like we're happy that we could sit on our phones or our devices and be able to lift ourselves up by bringing somebody down. Even if you don't approve, how about you never know if the lady is watching or reading. How about finding a better way to, like, listen, it's not a good look as a young lady, so maybe you should try to do better. But the way y'all come down on people, it's like somebody handed y'all a moral stick. Like, y'all don't do no wrong, everything is across the board. Y'all are just waiting for the day when the road is called up yonder. Basically. There's no question. When you reach at the gate, there's no checking out. No wondering. Y'all already safe inside. So when that roll call up, y'all even taking escalator and elevator while the rest of us have to walk the steps. Y'all already on the top floor. Like, leave people be. Even if you choose to condemn something, why does it always have to come across like y'all are so better than perfect than everybody else? Everybody don't aspire to be the same thing. Everybody isn't the same. Imagine a world where we all thought the same, felt the same, did the same. How boring and monotonous that would be. People work hard. She spent her money. I don't know. She went to have a good time. That's her way of having a good time. So be it. I have people come at me sometimes and tell me, but I boring because I go out and I just stand up there and I ain't drinking, I ain't winding down the place. Somebody go there, drink, they wind down, y'all still have a problem. What is it? You go chill, taking the action, mind your business, play cute, take 2 pictures, you playing thing, watch you. Somebody go, they find their way of having a good time, it's still a problem. It's just, that is why I'm saying to people, live your life to please you. Try your best to stay away from illegal activities or get yourself in trouble, but what you're doing, long as you makes you happy, you're not harassing people, you're not in anybody's way. People might frown at it. Some might like it, some may not. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who likes it or not. I don't have to answer for your sins. You don't have to answer for my sins. At the end of the day, we all have to answer for what we did. Not, oh, this young girl was winding up on stage. Nobody asked you about that. That wasn't you. She has to answer her own questions for her own life and the way she chooses to live her life. Men are attracted to all different type of women. Because you as a man may not be attracted to somebody out there like that, there's a man who would probably say, you know what? Yeah, man, I like that girl. I like her. You never know. And who tell you the girl didn't have man to be size? Why people think being someone's wife is everyone's goal? Another one talk about what? Women devalue themselves to the lowest and expect to be treated with respect. So as a woman, because you see a woman devaluing yourself, that gives you the right to disrespect her, but you call yourself a classy man and an upright man. You stay contradicting yourselves. Listen to the nonsense. Women devalue themselves to the lowest and expect to be treated with respect. Isn't respect supposed to be across the board regardless? So because you see somebody acting in a way that is disrespectful to you, you're going to disrespect the person. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. You basically saying, because you see a woman up on stage, that gives you the right to disrespect her because she's not acting in accordance to what is respectful to you. So you're going to treat her with disrespect. Women devalue themselves to the lowest and expect to be treated with respect. Women these days are fake, but in turn want a real man. Y'all don't even know if y'all real or if all you're coming, all you're going. Some of you. Because, as I asked earlier on, those of you asking about a good woman, are you a good man? It doesn't work one way. Everybody's pointing finger about good woman, good. Are you a good man? So, because she's up on stage, you don't know the lady in real life. Maybe that's a moment. That could be probably. I've never been such a fan of any artist that makes me want to do like go crazy when I see them. It's like and keep it moving. Maybe because I've been in this for so long, I've met quite a number of people that I'm not excited about it. But there are people who, and it's not only like if you go look at artists and people in out there, the Beyoncés. Look at people who are doing all sorts of crazy stuff just to buy tickets to go see Beyonce perform. People are doing all sorts of crazy stuff just to get their hands on tickets. So people do all kinds of things. So you're saying, if you see somebody acting, what he says, if you're acting like a knockabout, then men would just knock and run. They won't settle. It takes two to tango. So what you're complaining about, you're actually contributing to it. Now, if you want better women, how about being a better man and not adding to it? So if you see somebody acting like that, why go knock them and run? How does that make you better? Like some of y'all just type and say things, but the contradiction, I don't get it. So immorality is accepted by the high society, so the world today will have no shame. Another person says there is no room for a different opinion, especially everyone has the same opinion. I do have the opinion that every woman has the initial desire to be somebody's wife, one and only. Miss, speak for yourself. There are women who are dead set against it. Someone says different strokes for different folks. I'm personally not interested in marriage because lots of them are unhappy and stuck there. But if I do find someone, he gotta love me for me. No one should be stifled in a relationship, not being able to express themselves as they see fit or just being a particular way for somebody. Somebody says, and what if our goal is to be happy and successful? We are not the same women you know in 1930s. Women are not sitting and waiting to be wives. Some of you need to understand that. That's just like some others that will be calling women gold diggers. And you like woman, man, and when you check them, they ain't even have 2 shillings to rub together, but they're talking about gold digger. I never get it. You're not even rich, but you're accusing people. Somebody tell me walk away. I'm not walking anyway. It's just annoying. It's like we've been doing this for every time something happens that people don't agree with or don't like. It's like we just get on this high horse and start riding and start, bringing people down and having the most to say about people without even knowing them. Don't even know the person and have the most to say. This thing called opinion. Some of y'all get it twisted. Opinion and facts aren't the same. Some of you will be peddling stuff like if it's a fact when it's just your opinion, your take on something. Your personal feeling about something does not make it true, does not make it a fact. The young lady come out and cry wife trouble for anybody? So somebody says anybody who wants her to be their wife has already seen part of her character as either you take her for who she is or you look for someone else who suits your criteria. It's that simple. You see these women you think is saint? Trust me, you'll be surprised at what they actually do behind closed doors. Some self, if women are unhappy with the standards we have regarding marriage material, just know that this is what mothers are teaching their sons, so blame yourselves. Mothers are the only one. What about the fathers? What are fathers teaching their sons, Samuel? Again, it's come back to women. And there you go, taking men out of the equation. What about fathers? What are fathers teaching their sons? Are they teaching their sons to be good men? Are you a good son? Are you a good brother? Are you a good husband? Are you the type of father and husband that you wish your daughters would bring home? Those who you're looking at, those little people, when they look at their fathers, when they see how their fathers treat their mothers, when they go out there, do they know what standards to settle for because they have the perfect examples at home? Or are they seeing you cussing and kicking up their mothers like a ball? There's a lot of people throwing stones out here and living in glass houses. And like I said, because things aren't out there, don't feel sheltered behind your little smoke screen. You still have to live with it. Wherever you go, there you are. Doesn't matter how much you think people don't know, it's just between you and who and who. If you're not living an exemplary life, then by no means should we be condemning other people, standards or choices. So if we doing what we're supposed to, you're good men, we're good women, then go forth and be happy. But if you know that you're not, then, because I don't understand, if you see a woman as being a particular way, it's not your standard. Why are you going to add to it? You're going to, what the person said earlier, knock and run. That is not your standard. Why are you knocking? Why are you knocking and run? That is not your standard. It's just not your standard. Stay in the lane that you think is suitable to your standard. But you're knocking and then you're condemning. Don't knock at all. Stick to what you think is your standard, what you're looking for in a woman. I don't get it. Someone says this whole someone's future wife really needs to stop. This is not the goal for every woman. And when these men are running around being community, are they thinking about somebody's future husband? Because a lot of you do the most as well. So it's not just women, it's just men. It's either we're good people or we're not. We can't be selective. Oh, you should be a good woman, but are you a good man? You are not for her. Simple. Sit down. Everyone does as they wish. We would love if everybody could be perfect, shining beacons in society, but we're not. We're flawed. We do stupid things. We make stupid mistakes. Sometimes expensive ones. But hey, you live, you learn. I've seen criminals being reformed and being good people. So like I said, we can't be selective about our outrage. There's a lot to be outraged about, especially on this rock. There's rape, there's incest, there's abuse. You will put up a little post and crickets. You'll try to organize a little sensitization program, a little motorcade. People where you pass into the neighborhood, people behind their blind. Or the people opening the door just to see what happening out there and close it back. You have a little live talking about those things. How many people show up? But do live and start a bacchanal and call people name and start to cuss people out. Ram. In a place to stand up, much less to sit. So again, I say, the selective outrage maybe makes you feel good as a man or a woman. Makes you feel good for a couple of seconds that you're a better person than that person. Everyone has standards. What may be low for me, right, Shelley, may be high for another for various reasons. But best believe that when someone cares about you, your input on the choices they make, they will ask for it. The amount of people under them posts, they are supposed to be in church. After 8, 9 in the morning, that's not when services be happening. You don't even go into church, but under live and under people video and making the most bacchanal. When last year I went into church that have all this high standards and high... Check their page to see if they have any little post to uplift a person, anything to do with a little motivation, nothing. So how are you contributing? What is your contribution apart from running your mouth? Not even a little post, a little scripture quote, not a little hold your head up, girl, nothing on their page. Blank. But under people's life telling them how they should live and how they shouldn't live. The hypocrisy is amazing. You're not doing it, but you have expectations for other people to do it. Someone says somebody who don't care about that would still marry her. There's a lot of different people for a lot of different people. Right? There's a lot of different people for a lot of different people. That's why you just don't marry people who act in a way you don't like. Someone says standard this, standard that. Let people live their life how they want to. Someone out there will go down on their knee for her and say, I can't read the rest. Someone says, I just have one thing to say that does not define the young lady. She may be a better wife than a lot. Who are we to judge? We were all young and did silly stuff. So in this world, as old people say, every bread has its own butter and cheese. I have seen the P word got married before people who go to church every day. I have seen everyday churchgoers get divorced, and people who are not churchgoers stay for years. It's all about your heart and your intent you have for the person. Who are we to judge? We need to stop it and allow people to be their true selves. Another person says, only in the Caribbean we have this box limited one-sided notions. I've seen strippers put in $1 million. Hello, Madam B, Miss Cardi, that y'all are looking up to and like men be flocking to her page to see what she posts. Married woman. Oh, could forget Cardi B. And she never lied about it. That's her life story. And now the lady saying she didn't have to wash a cup or a spoon. She has housekeepers and she has a husband. On that note, I say no more. How come I forgot about her? As this person says, I've seen strippers put in $1 million mansions and wiped. What are you saying? They don't deserve that man? Y'all need to stop the thinking. If that's not your cup of tea, then fine. Furthermore, who says she wanted a husband? So someone said because she looks like an ancestor to the name woman doesn't mean she wants to be a wife. In this day and age, marriage is not the end game for most women. Even if she wants to be somebody's wife, you're saying she should pretend to be someone other than herself. One man may not appreciate or stand for her actions, but if it's your thing, I know for sure all bread have their cheese. Everyone needs to have standards, right? We're all different and unique in our ways, this person says. What some may overlook, some may not even. It can be a turn off for some and a turn on at the same time. No one is perfect. Someone says the only person who should have a problem is a lady man or husband if she have one. Our opinion doesn't matter. If it was an adult show, I believe what happened in the party stays in the party. Another person says, why men act entitled to state how women should act in order to get marital status, but never consider their own behavior. Men do have qualities that can be unattractive to women as well and turn them off from viewing them as husband material. Some women do not want marital status because they do not have the best examples of a marriage at home or in the external environment. If all they saw was unhappiness, infidelity, then why bother marry when it's easier to walk away unmarried? Some women can't find a man on their level, intellectually, financially, or emotionally mature. Women have evolved, and many still not settle for less than when they can be fully independent. Some women prefer the side chick status because they don't have to deal with all of the responsibility of dealing with a man 24/7. All in all, people have their preferences for whatever reason, but this topic is complex. It's a lot of comments, and I can't go through all. But let me see what Brian says. As a father of 2 daughters who are both young adults now and very different in their own ways, I think I would have been disappointed if one of them chose to act in the way shown in the video. And yes, they both play carnival too. On the other hand, things are different these days. When I was growing up, there were no smartphones being wielded by others that would be used to record every transgression of mine and upload to the internet, where it can be circulated to thousands, if not millions, and eventually show up years later as a reminder to others and myself of how I chose to behave at a particular time in my life. But I do hope that my public behavior has always been in step with one of the lesser-known commandments that the good book has given us: honor thy father and thy mother. At least they very rarely, if ever, told me I've acted otherwise. Of course, there was no Facebook back then when I was growing up. And I think yeah, but there's a lot of comments. I'm trying to keep up. Someone says, I wonder what standard you're looking for. Standard 1 to 6 or Hudson standard? Another person says, it'll be a great day when we stop trying to tell women who, how, when, where to be and let people live their own lives. Whoever said all women wanted to be married? Who made that rule? That men got to live their life how they want and still be accepted 100%, and women need to conform or be worthless. We need to leave people alone to just be. That right there deserves the Nutmeg Award this morning, and I can end on that note. Let me repeat. This person says it'll be a great day when we stop trying to tell women who, how, when, and where to be and let people live their own lives. Whoever said all women wanted to be married? Who made the rule that men get to live like they want and still be accepted? 5, 6 children, different mothers, you're still getting a woman. Kicking up women all over the place and you're still getting women. There are still women who accept you just like that. But women need to conform or be worthless. Again, the hypocrisy is amazing. Amazing. What Marish was saying there? Marish is such a liar. When I get off, I'm gonna sit and read some of the comments because I've been just going off and not really paying attention to it, so I don't know who said what. Brenda says standards are subjective and it also shrouded in a lot of personal biases, especially on this rock, brands. Especially on this rock. Some people get a pass, others get a hard knock. Sometimes doing the same thing. Sometimes it depends on who's doing it. Especially on this rock. I don't know. It's like sometimes I say I love this rock and everything in me, yeah, but I don't get her sometimes. It's like it's just so convenient for us to like certain things and hate other things. But again, it all depends on who's doing it. I don't get it. They say they want to get married to a woman with standards but still go out and hunt the wife with those that don't have. Karina says less marriage will be better because too much horn when you're married, only the men benefits. No, it's crazy out here. This rock, it's amazing. It's like lately I sleep here, but I don't live here. It's like because you just have to distance yourself from it because you'll be caught up in the lally. You just gotta. Brent says it is entertainment, but we are too conservative to acknowledge anything positive coming from it. We are interjecting our personal feelings, not separating issues, and I have heard that dragging of the female. All day Sunday, they went on social media, in the social media sphere. Do we know she's mentally strong for all the bashing? Do we care? What crime did she commit? None. My sentiment exactly. I don't know who made us like... It's like some people feel entitled and like God came down and said, I choose you to be the moral police. I choose you to scope social media and see who's behaving in an untoward manner or who's not living up to certain standards and expectations. I select you people to being in charge. Forget that you're not too kosher. Forget that you're not all that for yourself. Forget that. Forget you still have skeletons. Forget you're not the best man or woman. Forget that. We ain't talking about that now. Let's focus on the other person who's doing something that you don't like or not living a particular way. Let's focus on that. Don't pay attention to the fact that you dog and cat in the house, you're beating up your woman in front of children, you're a woman fighting like man, noise in the neighborhood, people can get a chance to rest. You know, says everyone is responsible for their own. Men will do what you allow. Exactly. I can be responsible for Tom, and Tom can be responsible. Everybody has to be responsible for their own actions. When you do something, you accept responsibility for it. You can't pass the buck on to somebody else. You did it. So she has to accept responsibility for whatever. If man choose not to be with her, well, she has to accept that responsibility. Says this people with all the morals and standards propping sorrow, wondering when Mr. Right will come, and the ones that claim to have no value planning wedding or happily married or don't even want to get married because they don't want the responsibility. Can't assume what people likes or wants or assumptions only makes, you know what they say of you and me. Comprehend. Anywho's. Yo, I got so many comments. I'll see y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. No, sometimes you just want to go off, but social media policeman, yeah, stay. Anyways, see y'all tomorrow, God's will. We'll come back with another episode and another episode of the Ladies' Room, same time, same place. Thanks everyone for checking in. Yeah, crony self. Go to York. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh my goodness. What a tangled web we weave. Y'all, go forth and have yourselves a great day. We'll reconvene tomorrow at 11 a.m. in the forenoon. Bye.